F1 is all about speed. Every year, hundreds of hours and dollars are spent by teams and engineers to create the quickest vehicles possible, and Formula 1 cars are the world's fastest cars. Before we go further into the video, subscribe to Explained and hit the bell icon for more such videos. So with that said, let's get into the video without any further ado. A Formula 1 car, usually referred to as an F1 car, is a single-seat, open-cockpit, open-wheel Formula racing vehicle designed for use in competition in Formula 1 racing events. It has large front and rear wings as well as an engine placed behind the driver. The rules governing automobiles are specific to the championship and state that the racing teams must build their cars while design and production can be outsourced. Due to their extremely high cornering speeds, achieved by producing significant quantities of aerodynamic downforce, Formula 1 cars are one of the fastest vehicles in the world on a racetrack. Drivers of Formula 1 cars frequently experience lateral G loadings about 5G and peak cornering forces of up to 7 lateral G as a result of the amount of braking force and the total cornering envelope a Formula 1 car by the friction component of the tyre, the mass of the vehicle, and the downforce generated. Which F1 era had the fastest cars? Formula F1 makes it difficult to determine which car is the fastest. Even if your car starts the race at its absolute top speed, it might not finish the race at its fastest. Aston Martin, after all, achieved the fastest record speed of the 2021 season at 224 miles per hour, but they never took first place or performed very well in qualifying. In Formula 1, the fastest vehicle doesn't always imply it's a rocket ship down the straight or a rail through the curves. It just means it's well-rounded. The fastest Formula 1 car will be able to record the fastest lap, but it involves more than just the fastest lap. One car could be tremendously quick on one circuit, but it might struggle on another since different circuits have distinct characteristics. Which Formula 1 car is the fastest ever? The quickest cars from 2017 to 2021 were those from 2020, as those from 2021 had a performance decline of between 5% and 10% as a result of the regulation modifications that removed aero components from the floor, brake ducts, and diffusers. We can therefore claim that the Mercedes W11 is the quickest car in history given that Mercedes dominated the 2020 season. In 17 races, they recorded 15 pole positions, 25 podium finishes, and 9 fastest laps. Lewis Hamilton won his 7th World Championship, and the Constructors' Championship was secured with 4 races remaining. They simply got it right. The 2019 Mercedes W10 evolved into the 2020 Mercedes W11, which likewise dominated the season. The DAS system, a device that allowed drivers to adjust the alignment, or toe, of the front wheels while on straightaways to help tyre warning during a warm-up lap, was the most notable upgrade. If you've been enjoying the video so far, then be sure to subscribe to Explained, hit the bell icon for more informative videos, and like the video. Could the 2020 Mercedes W11 be the fastest car ever? We've discussed the decline in performance from 2020 to 2021, but what about the next few years? There are good reasons to believe that the 2020 Mercedes W11 will eventually surpass all other vehicles in terms of speed. Due to the drastically reduced size and aerodynamic complexity required by the 2022 regulatory revisions, downforce levels will be greatly reduced, which will result in much slower cars. 3 to 5 seconds will be added to the lap timings, bringing them closer to those of the vehicles with V6 turbo engines from 2014 and 2015. But there is no need to fear since these adjustments should make the vehicles simpler to follow, which will enhance racing. Who knows how fast Formula 1 cars will be in 10 to 20 years? But for the time being, the 2020 Mercedes W11 will continue to be the fastest car for at least a few years, and if F1 switches to electric engines in the future while keeping its smaller cars, it may continue to be the fastest car indefinitely. Although indeed we cannot anticipate the future, it is still a possibility, right? What is the top speed record in Formula 1? The quickest automobiles between 2017 and 2021 are, without a doubt, those with the fastest lap times, but what about the speed? The official high-speed record for a race at the 2005 Italian GP is held by Juan Pablo Montoya. In his McLaren Mercedes MP20, Montoya reached a top speed of 372.6 km an hour. In the 2016 Mexican GP, a track where his lengthy main straight permits reaching these speeds, Valtteri Bottas came within 0.1 km of beating it. Valtteri Bottas, though, unofficially beat this record during the free practice at the 2016 European GP in Baku. The Williams team asserted that Bottas used Verstappen's slipstream on the main straight to accelerate his Williams VW38 to 378 km an hour. All of this is quite fast, but the 2006 Honda R8 106, driven by current FIA medical car driver Alan van der Merwe in the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, USA, holds the absolute record for top speed. This is one of those wild and ambitious tales that have occurred throughout the history of the sport. In 2006, the Honda team undertook the strange idea of testing their F1 car's ability to exceed 400 km an hour by driving it over a flying mile. The Honda crew modified its 2005 Monza spec car with an unrestricted V10 engine, a stability fin in place of the back wing, and tyres specifically made for salt flats to come up with this wacky notion. The project took almost 2 years to complete, and it was completed on July 21st of 2006. Although the goal still needs to be accomplished, their automobile hit a top speed of 397.360 km an hour. It is still a remarkable speed and surpassed the expectations of many people and mechanics, even though it didn't achieve 400 km an hour. Van der Merwe commented on his experience. "There's no feedback. This vast whiteness surrounds you. The track was 200 meters wide and 11 miles long. The only way you know you're going that fast is because your helmet is getting pulled off of your head and the car is screaming in 7th gear." Performance limitations implemented by FIA. The FIA has regularly updated the rules for F1 constructors since the 1980s to lower speeds and improve driver safety. These regulations included the outlawing of concepts such as the wing car ground effect in 1983, which was reintroduced in 2022. The turbocharger in 1989, these were reintroduced for 2014, active suspension and ABS in 1994, slick tires in 1998, which were reintroduced in 2009, smaller front and rear wings, and a reduction in an engine capacity from 3.5 to 3.0 liters in 1995. The aerodynamic regulations implemented in 2005 were intended to reduce downforce by around 30%. By switching to 3.0-litre V10 engines, which had been utilized for a decade, to 2.4-litre V8 engines in 2006, the engine power was decreased from 710 to 560 kilowatts, 950 to 750 bhp. Some of these new engines were capable of running at 20,000 RPM in 2006, but the FIA restricted all engines to 19,000 RPM for 2007 season to improve dependability and control at higher engine speeds. The FIA has been requested to take into account how it may influence the sport to take a more environmentally responsible course. Teams were therefore asked to build the KERS device, which included specific kinds of regenerative braking systems to be installed on cars in time for the 2009 season, in addition to the alterations previously mentioned for the season. The technology tries to limit the amount of kinetic energy that is converted to waste heat during the braking and instead transforms it into a form that may be used later to improve engine power, like electrical energy or energy stored in a flywheel. The energy is only released when the driver hits a button and is useful for up to 6.5 seconds, providing an additional 60 kilowatts or 80 horsepower and 400 kilojoules, in contrast to road car systems that automatically store and release this energy. It successfully resembles the IndyCar and A1GP series' push-to-pass buttons. While KERS has not strictly prohibited, the FOTA unanimously decided not to use it in the 2010 championships. However, even with the FIA's regulations, F1 cars continue to be the world's fastest cars. What are your thoughts about F1 cars? Tell us down in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Explained. Click the right to watch more of our exciting videos, and if you liked our video, give us a big fat thumbs up and share it with your friends.